Hi everyone, let's talk about the detailed mechanism of the insulin. Specifically, let's talk about the insulin release. First, we are going to eat the food, and the food is digested, and we have the complex sugar when it's broken down initially. Now, the complex sugar consists of three things. It includes the maltose, the lactose, and the sucrose. The maltose consists of glucose plus glucose. Note that all the complex sugar consists of glucose, and the maltose um, it it is it's made up of glucose and glucose. Now the lactose is made of glucose plus galactose, and finally the sucrose is made up of glucose plus fructose. There's a small mnemonic that we can use to help us remember what maltose, lactose, and sucrose are made up of. So let's begin. Maltose. Break the word maltose into mal and tose. Think about and now create a picture. Imagine people's toes. Alright? And maltose, and now imagine their toes glued together. So this is a really bizarre picture, right? So whenever you think about maltose, you think about mall and people inside the malls, their toes are glued together. So it will immediately help us to remember that maltose is made of glucose because the word glued is similar to sounds really close to glucose. So maltose, maltose, and tose glued together glucose. So it's made up of glucose. Now the mnemonic for lactose. Lactose, break the word lack into lacking and toes into toes, lacking toes. Now imagine a picture where there are girls lacking toes glued together. So so the word girl should remind us of galactose as in the word girl, and think about glued, the word glued as in glucose. All right, girls lacking toes or glued together. When you imagine this picture, it'll be easy for you to remember girl for galactose and glued together for glucose. And it's much easier to imagine this bizarre picture and then think about the terms. Since it's really fast and it's easy for our brain to imagine bizarre pictures. Sucrose, break the word into sunk rose. So a rose is sunk inside a water. What could happen? So how could this happen? When the rose is glued to a fruit. So the word glue again, sta- again helps us to remember glucose because it's similar sounding. And the word fruit, um, so should help us to remember fructose. So sucrose, suncrose. Rose is sunk because it is glued to a fruit, so it is glued. Um, so the word glue for glucose and the word fruit for fructose. Now we need to talk about what breaks apart what. Maltose is broken down by maltase. Lactose is broken down by lactase. And sucrose is broken down by amylase, not sucrase, as the name, following the logic. So sucrose is broken down by amylase. And you can just try to think about Amy. So you can break the word amylase into Amy, and she is going to she's going to cut the fruit. She's going to cut the fruit in half with her kitchen knife. So sucrose is broken down by amylase, the enzyme amylase.